Hello everybody and welcome to the TripleJump Podcast. It's a video game podcast, Peter.
If you're listening at home, the audio quality is not a problem with the podcast. It's, well, you're just going to have to look at the video version to find out.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Peter.
It's hot in the worm, Peter.
Yeah? Hot in the worm?
It's hot in the worm. It's really warm in here.
Right.
My breath is... Oh, I don't know how people wore these at presumably conventions.
That's why they go so crazy, those guys. What are they called?
Psychos.
Maniacs,
Bandoots.
Right.
And so on. Sorry, I'm gonna... It's Borderlands 3 week.
It is.
It's happened. It's out. And if you're anything like me, you've immediately gone to a family event and can't play it for 2 days.
Oh, that always happens to you.
Seems to be that
I'm
way,
sure that
doesn't
happened
it?
last time. Well, no, with Crash, not Nitro Kart, CTR, it happened with me. And then the game before that, whatever that was, I can't even remember. Was it Sekiro? Did it
Maybe.
take you a while to play that, I think?
God, I'm not sure anymore.
I think you had someone up or something like that, and because I had to look back at an old podcast for various reasons last week or the week before, and then in the Sekiro one, you were like, "I've got it. I've not played it.
I keep missing out.
Yeah,
but I've got Monday booked off.
Oh, have you?
I'm coming back up Sunday afternoon, and then I'm playing it for as many hours as I can stand.
For just 24 hours, you could play
just Borderlands 3. So that's very exciting. I hope those of you who've been looking forward to Borderlands as much as I have, and I'm sure a lot of listeners are now at least aware of Borderlands because I haven't shut up about it for the last several months. But Borderlands, it's not the sponsor this week, Peter.
No, it's not.
I believe you have the ad read there.
I do. I've got the ad read right here.
I'm going to have a drink now because it was very hot in there.
Oh, how do they drink?
Oh, I don't think they do. That's why they're so cut and lean all the time. It's because they don't drink much liquid at all.
Much or any?
Any. That's why they have such short life expectancies as well. They're only 12, most of them.
Oh.
That's a fact. That's a real fact.
God, and you shoot them.
Yeah.
Shoot them all.
Well, they're shooting at you. So.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that makes it okay. Mm-hmm. If someone shoots at you, you can shoot back at them. It's legal to do that. Today's sponsor, of course, is it's actually a rival podcast. I don't know who okayed this.
What? Okay. Did they pay big?
No.
Oh.
No, they barely paid at all.
TripleJump. We'll take anything.
We will. It's Abe's podcast, as in Abe from Abe's Odyssey.
He has a podcast.
He's got a podcast. Do you know what? Not
Abe's
only are
Podyssey.
we just Abe's, very, very good. Abe's Podyssey. Not only are we being sponsored by a rival podcast, but it's a rip-off of ours. Because in the middle, they've got this segment called Odd News.
What? No way.
I don't want to... No, we're not sponsored. I'm going to send the money back. We're not sponsored by them this week.
What are you going to do at the end of the show? Are you going to have to sort of make one up?
Oh, that would be weird, wouldn't it, if we just made one up?
I think you mean odd.
Odd, I do. Well,
It'd be really odd. But that's a lie.
Oh.
We got you again every week, you fools.
God damn it.
It's so silly. You thought they would learn by now, but apparently not. This podcast is, of course, brought to us by our wonderful patrons over at patreon.com/Team TripleJump. If you want to support us in all that we do and also get the opportunity to submit questions to the podcast, that's the only way you do it. Patreon.com/Team TripleJump. Peter, one of those wonderful patrons, starts off the show.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's David Lever. Or Lever, if you're in America.
Or Remainer.
Yeah, well, David asks, or says, seagulls are attacking. They want your games.
No.
They want your consoles.
No.
You can save 3 things.
What?
What do you choose?
3 things? I have so many things.
There's some caveats to this question. I want to know.
Yeah.
Is this essentially, if you were locked in a room for eternity, what 3 things would you take in? Or is this... your entire collection of everything is going to be destroyed. You'll be able to start replacing things over time, but what's your most treasured possession that is irreplaceable to you?
Oh, okay. Because we've done various Desertersland.
Yeah. So first I was thinking,
before.
what console and games 3 things could I not live without forever?
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking maybe it's like my most treasured things that even if I went out and bought a new one from the shop, I'd still be a bit sad that my original one had gone.
I see. See, I came at it from a different angle of if all of your game stuff is gone, what 3 things would you be able to get by on
Right.
I wasn't imagining the sort of home invasion angle where they came and destroyed all of my precious belongings.
But neither were you imagining a permanent desert island situation.
No.
Just sort of what would tide you over.
I was hoping maybe at some point I could get some stickers to decorate my stuff and things, just make it a little bit more personal, you know?
Yeah.
When I'm stranded, wherever it is that I'm stranded.
What's your answers based on whatever interpretation you've gone with?
Can you guess?
Final Fantasy VII?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay. I guess. See, this is with me as well. I've not gone with certain games because one of the slots has to be taken up by a console.
Right.
And so then almost by definition, the other two games have to be
for that console.
For that one console.
Yeah.
So maybe you've gone with a Nintendo Boy?
Yeah, I've got
a handheld.
I've got a handheld.
Pokemon
Yeah.
Red.
Close. One of those
Blue.
colours. No, not quite.
Yellow.
Yes.
Okay.
And
I don't know what your other sort of up there favourite Pokemon game is.
well, I've got a Game Boy Color, Pokemon Yellow, because that's sort of the best of both. What with blue and red?
Oh, is that what's in yellow?
Yeah,
It's just
you
blue
get
and
all
red.
3 starters.
I didn't actually know
and
that.
and then you get a main, and
Yeah.
sometimes you get a dessert as well.
Ooh.
But the same goes for Pokemon Crystal, which I've also chosen, which is the best of between gold and silver.
Gold and silver, yeah.
So I got those two. Crystal is literally the game that I've poured more hours into than I think any other that I've actually been able to track over the course
I
of
didn't know that.
like maybe 10, 11 years. I racked up about 300 and something hours in one save file on Pokemon Crystal. And then the battery died in it. Lost it all. It's gone.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can't you just put another battery in it?
But the save is on the battery. The save powers the battery is in the cartridge, and that's what they save to.
Oh. I didn't know there was a battery. God, I'm learning so much.
Yeah, it's got
That
little
you've
watch
played
battery.
a lot of Pokemon Crystal.
Yeah.
And that there's a little battery inside a cartridge.
It was a sort of an epidemic that swept the world a few years ago because the battery life is roughly 20 years, and so everyone's saves started disappearing because they started to die. And Pokemon Crystal died. I started it up one day and it only gave me the option to start a new game.
Oh my God.
Didn't even say continue, so rip. But I would take those 3 things. What about you?
Oh, I mean, that's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
I don't
Got to start back up though, haven't you? Got to rebuild.
know how I feel about that. Yeah. I mean, this was difficult because I didn't really know in what way I was answering this question.
Mm-hmm.
My immediate thought was I would take a PS2,
Yeah.
my PS2, because it's so versatile. And then on that, I could probably never live without Spyro the Dragon, number 1.
Right.
Because I just play it every year and I just would not be able to do that.
Yep.
But instead of going for the obvious, probably Beyond Good and Evil for the other, I don't know. See, now I'm thinking, really, I'd really like a copy of Skyrim because I
Okay.
still haven't, there's still a lot of that I've not played. I know you've played it to death, but I think that could definitely keep me going.
Yeah.
Only thing is, if I wanted to play Spyro the Dragon and Skyrim, I would need a launch PS3, right?
You would.
And I don't own that. So, I mean, this question is what would we save of what we already own?
And what would you buy?
Yeah, I mean, I can't just say, well, I'd let the Seagulls take it and then I'd buy a launch PS3. So, I don't know. I guess I just have to choose another game, in which case, maybe... no, I'll tell you what I'll do.
Yeah.
I will have my PS4...
Okay.
I'll keep Reignited Trilogy, which is not as good as Spyro 1.
Okay,
But I'll have that so that I can also have Minecraft
Right.
on my PS4.
You can do a lot with
because
Minecraft.
similarly, I mean, that's kind of the same logic as to why I'd want Skyrim, is just because you can just keep playing it and playing
endless
it and playing it.
replayability.
Either that or in terms of irreplaceability, if that's a word, I would probably just keep my copy of Tomb 2 because that's quite an expensive game.
Irreplaceability. I didn't catch that. She heard it. She spelled it.
She spelled. I mean, you didn't ask her. You should just say define.
Define irreplaceability. Yeah, it appears to be a word.
Okay, well, there you go.
Irreplaceability.
Irreplaceableness.
Yes, absolutely.
So there you go. That's sort of my cobbled together answer. I think we need more detail there about what the scenario really is, whether we can buy new stuff later or...
Because if we're trapped in a car, then, I'm fine. Because Peter might also need a memory card and a controller that he has to plug in and a TV.
Yeah.
Whereas I might need batteries.
It's all there. It's all in one little thing. Well, apart from the watch batteries, yeah.
Yeah, well, and batteries for the Game Boy
too.
You know what? This question was difficult, David.
Ask us again another time. Not immediately.
Maybe a couple of weeks. We'll forget, and then we'll cover it again. It'll be fine. Peter, it's time for a groundbreaking segment. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. What are we playing this week?
Oh.
That's not what it's called. I misread that. It's called What We Play In, apostrophe.
It is. Yeah.
Peter, what you play in, apostrophe?
I've actually played a little bit of a game we've covered quite a lot on What We Play In.
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot Drives.
Oh!
The driving games.
Crunda Drove.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yes.
It's been a while since I played that, actually. I barely played last month when the Grand Prix was on.
It wasn't a very good Grand Prix.
The time one.
Yeah.
I told myself, what I'll do is I'll get through the first bar of Nitro and unlock the character. Didn't even get that far.
Oh, no.
I just couldn't motivate myself to do it. I was like, I should really... It just felt like a bit of a chore to
Didn't
do
get the baby diner.
Yeah, I was like, well, as long as I've got all the characters, that's all I want. But then I'd just be sitting there in the evening after being at work all day, and I'd be like, I don't want to play a grindy game. I'd rather just carry on with Uncharted, Drake's collection. But, of course, this month's Grand Prix has been Spyro.
Yes.
The Spyro and Friends, it's called, I think.
Yeah.
So I've been playing that, trying to unlock my little purple friend. I've not done that because I don't play online very much, and so I don't earn as much Nitro as I would like to. And I was away for a week, but I really like the new track.
New track is great.
You played it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's various places from Spyro the Dragon, number 1, which is nice because I always felt like before Reignited was announced, that was probably the game that got the least attention, discussion. Like people didn't really remember that as fondly as 2 and 3. I know you're a 3 boy, and a bit of a 2 boy, and that seemed to be the prevailing thing amongst the small Spyro discussing community pre-Reignited.
We meet every year.
Yeah. But when they announced Reignited, they heavily advertised all the Spyro 1 stuff, and I was like, oh wow, okay,
that's nice.
Activision actually like Spyro 1 and want to plug it, and then they've done the same with this. I thought the new the Grand Prix would be a mix of everything, but Hunter's in it, but you've got Nasty Nork there as well.
Yes,
as an unlockable character, and then the level that you race around in is based on. Just various places from the first game. So that's quite nice, driving around and seeing there's that guy and that's that thing. And
oh, yeah, look at that.
All my old friends / enemies. It's been good. I'm enjoying it.
I didn't talk about it last week because I forgot.
Oh, right.
And thank you to Sam, by the way, for stepping in last week.
Yes, thank you, Sam. Stepping in.
Dear Stam, I wrote you, but you weren't right back.
You still ain't calling.
Thank you very much for covering for TP last week. I forgot to mention it. I have officially kicked the Crash Team Racing fever. Yeah, it's done. I did the same thing as you, where I was like, right, gonna get that Spyro, gonna go for it. Here I go. I played the night it came out. I played it until 2 a.m. just completing various challenges, and then I got to 1, and the daily challenges ticked over to the next day, and I was like, I'll just do the rest of these, and then I went to bed exhausted, and I'd unlocked Spyro at that point.
Okay.
Then I woke up the next day, and I was like, oh God, what do I even do? I don't know what to do today. I should probably play some games maybe, and I've been hesitant to start anything because Borderlands is so close, and. So I hopped back into Crash Team Racing almost out of muscle memory. Took one look at the Grand Prix list and then just went, nah.
Yeah.
I'm done. The magic's gone. It wouldn't be so bad if the rewards for the second and third tier were actually worth something.
Yeah.
Because the third tier is always just a skin for the character you unlock at the end of the first tier, and that's just not worth my time.
I'm surprised. I mean, I'm glad, but I'm surprised that they didn't put the character at the end of the third tier to really motivate people.
Or the track or something, just something big. But yeah, in a way, I'm glad they don't. But in another way, I just can't be like it's done. I love that game. One of the best games I've played this year, even though it's a remake in terms of, especially in terms of time spent on it. But I'm over it, Peter. I'm done.
If it wasn't a Spyro-themed Grand Prix, I don't think I'd still be playing it. And, after this, they're going to have to announce something pretty exciting if they want to keep me in. I don't know if they're going to do it. I think they might have a break now and not do any Grand Prix for a while, and then
I think that's a good idea.
They'll probably come out with some new one later on.
Yeah. But you'll pay for it.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah,
it's probably. Activision. Who's to say? Have you played anything else? Nathan Drake collection,
I've been playing a bit more of that. Yeah, I'm on the second one now. So I'm in I think I'm as far as that war-torn town or city, I suppose.
Oh, yeah. Where is that?
It's like I can't remember. Kathmandu or somewhere.
Yeah, something like that. You're climbing through all the hotels and things.
Yeah, I've done all that. I've gone inside that temple. I think I went down into the undergroundy bit. And I think that's where I left it.
You find the Nazi guns?
Found the Nazi...
There's some Nazi guns down there.
Nazi guns?
Yeah, I think so.
Are there?
In some of the traps down there that you have to evade, there's just like an MP40 and stuff.
Oh, no, I think
wherever you go, it's always Nazis,
It's been a while since I played. I think I must have not got that far. Yeah.
If there's any historical treasure that Nathan Drake is hunting, there will always have been Nazis there.
It's like Indiana Jones, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm surprised that they really went hard on the Nazi thing because, he is a bit Indiana Jones even without the Nazis, but... Yeah. They were then like, oh yeah, and his enemies are always the Nazis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course they are.
Right.
Who else would they be, right?
And it's slightly supernatural, even though, he doesn't really believe in it. It's just Indiana Jones.
Yeah. But it's great.
It's great.
I mean, we've had Indiana Jones games, but I don't think they're particularly fondly remembered. So Nathan Drake all the way.
Yeah. What have you been playing, Ben?
I bought Titanfall 2. In the sale that was on the PlayStation. I got it for $3.99.
Okay.
And I've heard good things about the campaign of this game since it came out, and I never played it. And I thought, I've got a weekend. Borderlands is out next weekend.
Yeah.
Let's do this thing. I have not had more fun with an FPS campaign this generation than I have with Titanfall 2.
Wow.
And, I mean... That's not really saying much because I don't play a huge amount of FPSs anyway, just not out of choice. Not because I don't like them, but mainly because now they're largely multiplayer skewed.
Yeah, they don't have campaigns very, very much now.
Exactly, and I didn't play Black Ops 3 and stuff like that, so I didn't, or Infinite Warfare and things. Call of Duty.
Wolfenstein was barely a campaign; it was just a series of.
Oh, I suppose, actually, I didn't think of Wolfenstein. Okay, well, it's up there then. It's because I really loved Wolfenstein and Wolfenstein 2.
Well, I mean, this year, though, the most recent one was just
Youngblood was
sort of string
bad,
of almost auto-generated.
Wasn't really a campaign at all.
Yeah.
But Titanfall 2 is just... It's not going to win any awards for writing in terms of having nuanced, complicated characters and so on. But in terms of gameplay and just like funneling you through these set pieces and... just mechanics that are really fun. You're wall jumping and you're double jump. You're not triple jumping.
No.
You're double jumping. Redacted.
Yeah, we can say that.
You're sliding along the floor and shooting people. You hop into your Titan and they have different loadouts, so you can be like a samurai Titan or
nice.
It's just really well paced and I really enjoyed it.
Did you play the first one?
No, I didn't. Didn't have I don't think it was even out on PlayStation. I think that was an Xbox exclusive.
Oh, was it?
The first one, yeah.
Oh, I don't remember.
Or at least it was at launch. But it had no campaign. It was just multiplayer.
I know that, yeah.
So the second one, they really pulled it out. And of course, this is from Respawn, who are doing the Star War this year. So that bodes well, I suppose.
Hopefully, question mark.
Because at least the free running and stuff was really fun in this game. And you did feel a bit like a Jedi at several points.
Right.
Because you're a pilot, and pilots are hyped up in the... sort of intro package and throughout the game as like being these sort of unstoppable badasses.
Yeah,
because they've got all this kit and gear and stuff. And whenever you land, you're infiltrating places and they're like, enemy pilot spotted. We have been infiltrated by an enemy pilot. And you're like, yeah, you have. And then you're like running around and just Kobe and you're dunking on them. And it's really good. Buckets as you sort of yeet them off, and then you dab and it's all, nearly knocked off my Borderlands mask there. It's fine. Got too excited. But Titanfall 2, fantastic. Obviously it follows, the follow-up to that has been Apex Legends. And there's a little Apex teaser in there where a mercenary man who refuses to kill you because I'm not paid enough to kill you.
Right.
They're all Antipodean for some reason. And he just puts a card down on your face or like on the top of your Titan once you've been defeated at some point.
Right.
And it says Apex on it. Like, just think about it. And then you never see him again.
Oh.
It's like, okay, so this does take place in the universe of Titanfall. But now I sort of understand the discussion about, hey, Apex is great and all, but we kind of want a Titanfall 3, and maybe Apex was the multiplayer for Titanfall 3, and now they're being pulled in lots of different directions with Star Wars and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to see more from Titanfall, really. Now, never considered myself a fan, but that was really good. I had a lot of fun with it, and it was so cheap too. So
yeah, that's nice.
If you want a game you can bash out at a weekend, then that's one. Single player is really, really good.
Good to know.
Also jumped into some Tearaway Unfolded, which was on PlayStation Plus a long time ago.
Right.
This is the game made by Media Molecule, the Little Big Planet people, and it's sort of a papercraft adventure.
Yeah,
it's
I remember.
whimsical and lovely. I played the original version that was on Vita, and I really liked that. This seems to be... I mean, it's almost a reimagining, but I can't... It's been a while since I played the Vita version anyway, but I can't really remember any parts of the Vita version that I played in this one.
Right.
So I didn't play it for too long because really it just felt like I was going through the motions, like I just wanted to play something. I wasn't really getting into it, but it's so unique and lovely.
Yeah.
And so well put together that it's definitely worth playing, but it wasn't really for me, so I stopped playing that.
Okay.
And then I jumped into Darksiders 3 from our friend at THQ Nordic.
Yeah.
I played it for about 20 minutes and then I deleted it because it's crap.
Yeah.
It's just crap.
Darksiders is never... I think it's always been... like, it sounds like a good idea, but they've just not delivered on it.
No. People really liked Darksiders 2. There was a big audience for Darksiders 1, and Darksiders 2 was apparently like Zelda, but I'm not really a Zelda fan anyway, so it didn't really bother me. This, though, by all accounts, was critically at least a step backwards for the franchise, as it was. And playing it, it honestly felt like a PS3 game. It didn't look very good. It didn't play very well. There's so many games that always have and continue to outshine Darksiders in terms of that gameplay and what it does. It tries to do sort of a methodical, take your time, think before striking Dark Souls approach.
Yeah.
Or it gives you another option to play it as a hack and slash. I didn't do that. But it's just crap. Like, it's just a bad game.
The first one was very hack and slash, and it was just, I don't know. It's sometimes I think a hack and slash to me has to be done in a very interesting way. Otherwise, again, it feels like a grind. You just walk into one. But Darksiders was full of giant rooms. You just walk from giant room to giant room or open street or whatever, and just hammer the attack buttons until this entire wave of people were dead. You'd walk to the next area, and then loads more would come. And I know that's the point of a hack and slash, but some of them can be really satisfying.
God of War,
exactly. But yeah, I didn't like first Darksiders at all.
You're meant to be a horseman or woman of the apocalypse as well, and you're just getting beaten up by these little goblin people.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, this is real escapism, this one. Really having a lot of fun. Thanks, THQ Nordic. I'm giving them a thumbs up to the camera for people listening at home. Right, let's move on to a question, Peter.
Yes, we've got a question here from Carrie Buchter. Buchter. Did we ever get a pronunciation on that?
Not as far as I'm aware. How about Carib?
Carib.
Which is French for Caribbean.
Yes.
Pirate de Caraïbe.
De Caraïbe. How did you guys come up with your gamer names? Or at least your Superduck and Confused Dude handles? That's a good question. Where's Confused Dude from? I think you've spoken about this once before, but not on this podcast.
I don't know where I've spoken about it. It's it's a weird one because it was apropos of nothing. It was just I needed a handle to go by. I used to go by Benny Product.
Benny Product?
Yeah, it was like a weird nickname I had for the first couple of years of secondary school. And I just thought, oh, okay, that's a name I can put in rather than Bed.
Bed.
Not
9134739.
Bed loot. Bed sniper.
Yeah.
Whatever. No. It wasn't. There wasn't really that kind of culture when I was coming up with my nickname. But I needed a name of some kind, and for some reason, it was that whole period of time where it was like lol random, ha ha, and so I thought, oh well, confused and dude, okay, that kind of rhymes, confused dude. That's fun.
Yeah,
I like that. It sounded nice in my head, and I liked how it sounded. And I remember I was at my friend's my friend Ben's house for a sleepover, secondary school.
Yeah,
and we were both very, very excited about the upcoming release of the PlayStation 3.
Right.
And at this point, it hadn't been delayed in Europe, so it must have been like 2006, maybe. And we'd found out somehow that they'd opened up their online service so that you could sign up and register your name.
Yeah.
And I signed up and I registered, confused dude, signed up with a date of birth that I have not been able to remember ever since.
Right.
Because I had to say I was 18 because I wasn't at the time.
Yeah.
And I printed off like just an email receipt and wrote on it the password that I'd chosen. And I still have that piece of paper in my original PS3 box.
But you don't have the date.
No, until this week.
Oh.
I thought I set it to 1985 for fun. Because I was like, it's like that Bowling for Soup song that everybody loves at that time.
Yeah.
And when I signed up, I was doing some stuff for my Gearbox Insider account for Borderlands 3 because you can get some points and redeem some stuff in-game. And I linked it to a 2K account, which I also had to create. But I could sign in with my PSN ID, so it would automatically link to that too.
Right.
And I did that, and it automatically filled out my date of birth. It was 1988 is what I chose.
But you've chosen the normal day and month. But
yeah, exactly. So now I know what it is. So if I ever have a problem with my account, my decade-and-a-half old concern that I might not be verified as me to get help with my account is now alleviated. I know what it is.
So has there ever been a point where you've been like, I could actually do with calling the helpline or something, or sending an email?
Thankfully not.
And thinking, I better not do it. What if they ask?
Not with things to do with my account anyway, so fortunately that's okay. But that's sort of it, and then I've just used it for various other things as well, just because people tend not to use that name. It's not too common. So what about you?
Yeah, mine just came from, I think I heard it on the radio. I think we were on the school bus in secondary school, and the bus driver used to listen to Radio 2, BBC Radio 2.
Right.
And they would do Sally Traffic.
Yeah.
And Sally Traffic would read the traffic reports and say,
yes,
it's really rather backed up on the M1 between junctions 27 and 28. And people would write in with not just their names, but sometimes with pseudonyms.
Oh, Susan Donums.
Yeah, Susan Donuts would sometimes write in, and so she'd say it's still very busy on that broken down lorry on the M25, and she'd go, well, that's thank you very much to Pumpkin King for that, thank you. And one time, someone just sent a message in about some traffic, and I think this is where I got it from. And she was like, and that's from Super Duck. And I must have just heard it because we didn't listen to the radio. Radio 2 when you're in secondary school is not what you want to listen
Everybody's
to on the
silently on the bus paying attention to Mrs. Traffic.
Yeah, so I think we'll have been chatting to each other, but that maybe there was just a temporary lull, and then she was like, that's from Super Duck. And I was like,
oh my God.
Super Duck. And I think I just got an image in my mind of, a duck in a Superman costume, and I thought that seemed somewhat amusing. And I guess later that week, coincidentally, I had to sign up for something somewhere and needed a username, and I used that, and I've mostly been using that ever since. Unfortunately for me, it's not actually free on some things.
Oh no!
I have to get in pretty quick with whatever new interesting service there is available. Otherwise, if I was to sign up to, I don't know, what am I not a member of yet?
Tumblr,
yeah, I'm sure it will be taken. I've found that like a lot of old things that have been around for a while, it's already gone. So I have to shove a number on it or an underscore or something.
It could be the person that you stole it from the radio.
Yeah, it might be. I don't think people who
listen to Radio 2 go on the internet.
No, I don't think they do. He might be dead now, Super Duck.
Could be dead.
Yeah, he got kryptonited.
Long live Super Duck.
That's where that's from. I think I went for Super Duck on my Twitter handle, probably. I'm guessing I did. I don't know why I wouldn't have done, but it's presumably taken. So that's why I'm that Peter Austin.
And there we go.
In fact, I use that a lot more now.
Do
elsewhere.
you?
Yeah. Where I can get that, I tend to use that now.
Oh, so. It's that Peter Austin, though.
Oh, look, it's that. I can't use it on PSN, though.
No, because Peter's a slur.
Peter's a bad word in some language.
Right. It's time, Peter.
For odd news.
Sorry, I'm not allowed to say Peter. It's time, redacted.
Yeah.
For weird, odd news. Wad news.
Don't say wad. That sounds bad.
That sounds really bad, doesn't it? Weird news time. Welcome to the weird news section where we talk about some weird news that's happening in the world.
I'm pulling it up right now.
Peter Austin, tell me about your weird news.
This comes from Polygon.com and was written up by Nicole Carpenter.
Oh.
Thanks, Nicole. KFC. You know KFC.
I know KFC.
KFC is apparently creating a Colonel Sanders dating sim.
Oh, good. This
is real.
Yep.
And weird.
But KFC gaming is a thing now, right?
Well, this article reveals all.
Okay.
Let's see what Nicole has to say.
Tell me.
KFC, yes, the fast food restaurant, is working on a video game. With developer Psyop, the fried chicken connoisseurs are releasing a dating simulator. I love you, Colonel Sanders, ! A finger-licking good dating simulator. That's right. The full title.
Okay.
The game popped up on Steam this morning. This was written on the 10th of September. As, quote, coming soon, according to the listing. A KFC representative told Polygon the game will be available for free on Steam on September the 24th. From the same people who brought you the bucket of chicken comes the world's first Colonel Sanders dating simulator.
It's the only one.
It's the world's first one. Would you believe? I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a finger-licking good dating simulator will put players in control of a promising culinary student who's studying alongside a young Colonel Sanders.
Wow.
Who looks... I mean, I don't think he looks that... He still looks like an old man, really, in that.
He's very sexy in that picture.
He's sort of chiseled and young in the face and body, but has grey hair and his weird grey beard. I don't know if he...
Have you seen some of the fan art? I'm sure you haven't. I don't know why I asked that.
I don't know if I have seen Colonel Sanders fan art specifically.
It's very similar to sort of the whole wave of new social media, brands being like sarcastic people, instead of actual brands like Wendy's in America, sort of slaying people, so to speak. KFC's kind of doing the same thing. I know they had a particularly vicious takedown for the Conservative Party's press office recently,
who did a mock-up, like a photoshopped image of Jeremy Corbyn dressed as a chicken.
That was real. They handed out cold Jeremy Corbyn chicken to people.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's pretty tragic. Anyway.
I feel like Jeremy Corbyn chicken would taste really horrible.
Yeah, it would.
Anyway, you're alongside a young Colonel Sanders. While looking for love, you've got to make it through culinary school too. If you're lucky, Colonel Sanders might even take you on as a business partner. Of the 9 characters, there's also a dog who is also a professor at culinary school, naturally.
Yep.
Of course he is. KFC said there are multiple hours of gameplay, a secret ending, and recipes.
Oh.
In fact, maybe we should play it for main menu.
If it's free, we definitely should. Oh my God, I don't really want to do a main menu where we have to mess around with oil and fryers.
Oh, and raw chicken.
God.
Oh, no, maybe we shouldn't. There are also cooking battles, 11 herbs and spices, and plenty of cute miniature food.
Oh.
Apparently.
Good.
Little bits. The listing also reminds potential players a few times that yes, KFC did really make this game. While I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a finger-licking good dating simulator is a bizarre yet intriguing move from the fast food company, it's not too out of line. In 2018, KFC launched a gaming Twitter account called KFC Gaming. The social media account is all over the place, hurling memes and video clips across the internet. Most recently, the account declared Rainbow Six Siege the best game, the winner of its World Cup of Games.
Okay.
I don't know if that's of all time or what.
I mean, I'd take it with and this isn't intended to be some kind of play on word, but I'd take that with a pinch of salt.
A pinch of herbs and spices and secret recipe. Tweeting about the Rainbow Six Best Game Award, KFC Gaming said, "The turnout from the community was huge. Guess we'll have to put together a reward for the Rainbow Six family. Bet they didn't expect a surprise dating sim," says Nicole.
Great.
Thanks, Nicole.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's a bit weird.
It sounds a bit like, what was it, Hattoful Boyfriend? The pigeon sim.
The pigeon one, yeah.
The pigeon one.
I should also just quickly name drop the guy who sounds like an elven Fletcher.
Yes.
Ern Arrowsmith, who said, "Hey guys, Polygon reports that KFC are apparently working on a dating sim featuring the Colonel. This harkens back to the days of the terrible cereal mascot games and the like, but weirder." There's also a question with that, actually. Are there any mascots you'd like to see given the game treatment? And if so, what type of game?
Oh, God, no.
Got a quick fire answer?
Honestly, no.
I don't think so.
I don't want to see any.
Zero.
None of those.
But thanks for bringing that to our attention.
Thank you,
In the news.
I've got a weird news for you, Peter. This is from Gutter's Night. It was kind of impossible to miss anyway, and I was aware of it, but Gutter Snipe wrote an appropriate thing on our Patreon post, so I feel like I should read it.
Okay.
Is it the X button or the cross button? I vote X. So we're talking about PlayStation today.
Yeah.
So of course, what are the 4 buttons? What are the 4 face buttons, Peter?
Triangle, circle, square, and X.
You're wrong.
I'm wrong officially.
You're officially wrong.
I know that I'm officially wrong. I'm sure you're going to tell me why, and I can also... I've got a little anecdote about this.
Is it the X or the cross button? This is from Push Square. Most sane individuals have settled on simply calling it X. But those who insist on calling it cross still crop up from time to time. The two types of people had happily settled their differences until the question was raised once again on Twitter. We spotted this response earlier today and it went viral, attracting over 50,000 likes from those sensibly calling the southern face button X. However, things have taken a dark turn. PlayStation UK has waded into the conversation and turned everything upside down. As it turns out, it's been cross all along.
It has.
They tweeted, triangle, circle, cross, square. If cross is called X, and then in brackets it's not, then what are you calling circle?
Oh.
We feel betrayed. This can't really be true. Cross doesn't sound right. We're getting emotional. This reminds us of the man who invented the GIF image format. According to him, the acronym is pronounced with a soft G. GIF, not GIF. Our response to both is that the vastly more popular colloquialism is the superior moniker. In other words, we'll be continuing to call it the X button, and PlayStation can't stop us. What do you call it? Vote in our poll. 90% of people say X.
GIF.
Now, before you give your anecdote,
yes,
I would like to say that I have heard I've heard cross used officially before in PlayStation marketing, and I can't remember where, but it's always been something I've been vaguely aware of, and then just sort of like, yeah, everyone just calls it X though.
Yeah.
They do keep quiet about it though. Usually PlayStation, the buttons are iconic symbols of the PlayStation brand, but they rarely read them out loud, do they?
No, yeah.
So they sort of avoid it. So while I've been aware of this, I had no idea that other people had no idea about it. I thought it was kind of known that officially it was called cross, but nobody called it cross. But apparently it's a relatively unknown thing for a lot of people.
So I knew it. I mean, actually, if you play certain, particularly earlier on in its time, if you play PS1 games from sort of the late 90s, they say cross. If they have like someone reading out, tooltips and stuff saying, "Oh, you can jump by pressing the cross button. Press it again to double jump.
Where's the cross button?
Jump in the air."
Where's the cross button though?
But I also, going back to actually Aerosmith talking about cereal mascot games.
Right.
I remember that Disney used to do discs, CDs that would come in the front of certain cereals that they had a brand deal with.
Okay.
And on those CDs would be 4 tracks. I think there were like 4 of them to collect, these CDs, different colours. And the tracks were like, I think, short versions of Disney songs.
Right.
They were just sort of weird, teasy marketing things like, oh, here's half a song.
Yeah.
But also, the 4th track on certainly one of them, if not all of them, was an ad for, I think, just PlayStation, rather than Disney Interactive Games. I think it was just a PlayStation ad.
Okay.
And it was this man who was basically describing things that he'd done, like telling his tales, as though that like he had been there in those games. So he was going like, I won my first Grand Prix at Silverstone by knocking Michael Schumacher off the track on the last bend. And then there was one, I think there was one in there where he was said about being an ant, and that's A Bug's Life. So maybe that's why it was on this Disney disc.
Okay.
But also part of that was, one of the things he said was, I've wandered Technicolor dream worlds, searching for a new dimension, and I found power in crosses, circles, squares, and triangles.
That's
how I've always known that it's technically supposed to be a cross.
Now, there is actually more to this story.
Oh.
A little bit. It has its basis, in terms of like the logic behind not calling it cross, it has its basis back in the Japan. Those symbols are, I think, I should have looked it up beforehand, but I think those symbols are meant to signify yes and no. So circle is yes and cross is no, which is why, especially in lots of JRPGs and early PlayStation games, circle was go. It was proceed, sort of like the positioning of the Nintendo, various Nintendo consoles, A button and B button to go back. But, times have changed, old man. I don't know how many times we have to tell you this. There have been lots of memes and stuff. Let's have a look at this. So someone's photoshopped the PS4 controller. So to make it across, they've just rotated the X. 45 degrees?
Yeah.
So it's actually a plus sign now.
Well,
so
then you'll just call it plus.
I suppose you would, wouldn't you?
I would.
In terms of what they should be called, the triangle is pizza slice. The circle is pizza, the square is pizza box, and the X button is no pizza. Is what that one is.
Because it leaves if you cut a pizza into 4 slices and then eat it off the box, it leaves a greasy cross.
The greasy cross.
The greasy cross.
And that's where Greasy Jesus sacrificed himself for our greasy sins.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's real. That's real theology.
Right.
And of course, there's a GIF of the Crossmen. From the 90s cartoon, Crossmen. That's the Crossmen, of course.
Crossmen.
Marvel's Crossmen.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cross gonna give it to you.
Bit of a contentious one there. I think largely people do call it X, but if you didn't know, it is actually cross.
You can learn about the PlayStation buttons and other PlayStation things in our list, 10 things you didn't know about PlayStation. Because the square and triangle also have actual meaning in Japan as well. Square was supposed to be about documents and menus and things.
Yes, it was.
That's why it's square-shaped. And triangle represents perspective and direction, so that's often why it's like zoom in or center camera.
Like a cone of vision sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
There you go. They all have meaning.
We can teach you, but we have to charge. Speaking of charging, we charged this person to ask a question, and then we also paid her because she writes for us.
Yeah.
Molly McDade asks, if you could get any guests, serious or silly, onto one of your shows, what would it be and what show? Do you have any people you'd like to see? You'd like to do a collaboration with, Peter?
I'd like to have Rules Boss on Rules Boss.
Oh my God.
I'd like him to have to do a challenge, and then when he gets stuck, he has to call us up, and we really annoy him by the delay on the phone and get a taste of his own medicine.
We don't see what his day-to-day is. Are we not sure that his parallel world exists
when he's not
in
at work?
Continuity with? No, just like when we call him, that's the equivalent of him calling us. Like, he sat there all day waiting for us to give him purpose, because when we hang up the phone, all the lights go out, his world is dark.
Oh my God.
There is nothing without us. So for him, we already are his sort of ECOG.
Right.
We are Rules Boss's ECOG, because without us calling to ask him questions, he exists in a void.
But it sounds like that would be a good thing. Like he enjoys those conversations because it gives him purpose.
Well, that's
whereas we don't.
I suppose, yeah, he's not calling to get frustrated, is he?
I want him to be wound up by the delay on the call.
I don't think that's possible.
Oh.
I mean, I'd like to see you try.
Yeah, me
I'd like
too.
to see what it would take to break him, but I'm not entirely convinced that he can be annoyed.
Yeah.
Don't
Because I
think
suppose he has
capable.
the delay now. We both have the delay. Delays work two ways on a phone. It's not just some sort of time-bending thing.
Yeah.
And he doesn't seem to get annoyed about it, so maybe that wouldn't work.
I have no idea.
What about you? Have you got any serious answers?
I actually have. I did go for a couple of serious answers. They're mainly YouTubers, because I just think, it would be great to sort of just get in on their audience. Thank you very much. But in terms of two YouTube video game creators that I quite enjoyed the stylings of, and I think we could make some good stuff together. My name is Kevin. He's great.
Yeah.
He does lots of video game stuff. And also Nakey Jakey.
Oh, yeah.
Who's also very good. Makes lots of great videos. Not very frequently, but he's fantastic. And
right.
I just think one of those two, want to cut content or what have you, I think would be really interesting.
Yeah, there's lots of people that we'd like to have on Cut Content, I think, for sure. That's, I was thinking about other shows, I don't know. But yeah, Cut Content, there's all kinds of people who we've worked with and met over the years. We're hoping, pending, that we'd like to get our friends from PlayStation Access on at some point.
Yes.
One or more of them, but
yeah.
we'll see. We're both busy people, but
a busy people.
So it would be nice to have them on.
It would.
Yeah.
It's time for a massive discussion. It's a big discussion time. Big discussion time, Peter.
It's from Slaughtermain.
Nice.
Some kind of Viking.
Yes.
Erlof Slaughtermain.
Exactly.
Erlof, I made that name up
Erlof.
just there, yeah.
That's the noise you make when you catch your gentleman's on the corner of the table.
Oh.
Hi guys, love the pod and everything else you do on the channel. My question is, I feel that dinosaurs are totally underused in video games. There are so many different ways you could implement them and they just aren't. What tropes do you feel are sorely underused / flat out not used at all in the gaming medium? How would you want to see them implemented? And he then posits Jurassic Park isolation.
Oh.
Like Alien Isolation, but with dinosaurs.
I'd love a dinosaur horror game. There have been a few over the years, but yeah, I think they are a bit underrepresented.
Yeah.
I guess currently the biggest ones dinosaur-wise are the Jurassic Park builder game. What's that called again? Jurassic Park Evolution. And also Ark has dinosaurs in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, a proper dinosaur horror game like Dino Crisis, but even more kind of dark and eerie than that. That would be great.
Yeah. Do you have an idea for some kind of, sorely underused trope in video games? Because I've got an idea for something.
Okay.
Where I've been playing Pokemon games for a long time.
Right.
And they all follow the same basic formula. And they've got progressively better looking over the years, although it's been a real slow grind to get to this point, and it's still not, they're not going for photorealism. They never have done. But
yeah.
I feel like there's more they could do with it. And I feel like what I want to do is basically play through the story arc of essentially the first anime series of Ash getting his Pikachu and slowly collecting his Pokemans and having to release them at various points when, because he releases Butterfree and it's really sad.
Yeah.
And then Charmander's being abused and he rescues it. And then he gets a Charizard and Charizard doesn't listen to him. And then they go do a Pokemon League and they slowly go and get all the badges and stuff. But the most you get in any Pokemon game is occasionally you'll be stopped by a person and they will talk to you for a bit and then you'll fight. That's kind of it.
So you'd want a much more narrative-heavy, almost cinematic experience from Pokemon.
What I've written here is Pokemon game in the style of God of War.
Okay.
Not in the violence,
Yeah.
but I'm talking the open linear gameplay that they mastered in that game, where it's open world, but it's still linear. It's not, you can go to a lot of different places, but slowly, the world is opened up before you, and it is linear in that when you get to certain locations, it really funnels you through.
Yeah.
But it balances that perfectly, and I don't know, it was just such a brilliant balance, I suppose, for want of a better term. That's what it is. It's just a great, I don't know, that game was so good. And I just kind of want to experience that with another established franchise that really just takes that leap and is like, okay, we're completely reinventing the wheel in terms of what you can come to expect from this series. And I'd love that with a Pokemon game, where, the places between towns or scripted events are relatively open. You can catch whichever Pokemon you want, but then you get an Uncharted or The Last of Us or God of War style cutscene from time to time where the story is radically changed and maybe a member of your party is taken away at some point.
Yeah.
Or maybe you don't even get to choose which party members you have, or that you have to have certain Pokemon in your party to proceed past a certain point because there's a cutscene involving them or so. I don't know, but I just feel like as much as I love the Pokemon games, there's so much more that could be done. And if we're talking about tropes that are sorely underused, I think that might be one of them. It's just some franchises might need to sort of not adapt or die, but just try something different. Just completely throw everything that's established out the window and try something new.
Well, I started thinking about dinosaur games when I read this question, and that made me think of there was a game like Jurassic Park Evolution that actually came out probably like 10 or 15 years ago now that was called Operation Genesis.
Okay.
Which was Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, it was called, which was, it came out after the third film, and it was just basically Jurassic Park Evolution, where it's a top-down park builder game, and you put dinosaurs in pens. Just the same game, but it's just been reinvented in the past couple of years. But in that, one of the things you could do was go down into like a car and drive around and take photos of the dinosaurs. There were like challenges of like, oh, you need to get so many in frame, or whatever. And that makes me think of Pokemon Snap, which was a great game as well. And I think photography in gaming is actually quite underused.
It's a great point.
I think there's a lot of scope for either an artsy sort of game where you just take really nice pictures, you can share them on social media and stuff like that. Maybe there's like procedurally generated worlds, so you don't just get bored of like taking photos of stuff in the same open world that everyone else is taking photos of. It's like, no, you like, these amazing things that are only in your world and you can share your photos of them. Or maybe it's actually part of the story, like, you're a journalist or something, or you're Peter Parker but not Spider-Man. Or you have to go and take photos of things like that and like survive, and maybe there's a linear narrative to it.
Do you remember Africa?
What, the continent?
We don't talk about Africa anymore.
The song?
No, the
Lynx.
No, not the Grandma gift set.
Okay.
I'm talking the PS3 game Africa, the PlayStation 3 exclusive
I've never
Africa.
heard of
That was
that.
a photography game.
Oh.
And I fell in love with the idea of that game, and it wasn't released in the UK, so I had to import it.
Why I don't know about it.
And I snuck into the bushes after going through a very boring tutorial.
Yeah.
And I waited by sort of an oasis, if you will, a muddy oasis.
A watering hole.
For a hippopotamus.
Hippopotamus, yeah.
To do a big yawn, because that was the photo I needed to get a photo of. And I waited there for 10 minutes, and I never played it again.
Oh, no.
But that was probably the most recent example I can think of like an interesting photography sim game that tried to do something like that. But it's been a long time.
Well, I'm wondering how much of a how much it will be in the new Beyond Good and Evil. Because in the first game, it was an integral part of the game. You were a journalist. You had to take photos of, like reveal the truth as to what's going on, the conspiracy. And I know there's not a camera in this new game. There's a spyglass instead because you're a pirate. But whether that can actually take photos with your sci-fi spyglass, I don't know. And the other thing I was going to say, actually, is pirates, I think, are somewhat underdone in games. I know you've currently got... There's Skull and Bones and also...
Black Flag?
Black Flag, yeah. But I think I'd almost want like a proper, almost hammy, like overacted, proper piratey narrative rather than something that's supposed to be historically accurate.
But that's the thing now. Everything is open world.
Yeah.
I kind of want something a little bit more linear.
Yeah.
And that's why I say with the Pokemon idea, open linear I feel like is the best balance to strike between the two, where there's some freedom.
Yeah.
But it funnels you through this really well put together story that makes you feel a part of the world. So you can't go for like, for in Skyrim, for example, it can't be like, the world is ending.
Yeah.
And then you run off collecting butterflies for literally 20 hours and then come back and they're like, wow, you arrived just in the nick of time. It's like, I know I did.
It feels silly when you do that, doesn't it? Like because I always try and get into the shoes of my player. I don't like to act out of what would be relevant in the context of the game.
Yeah.
And so when I'm told the dragons are coming and we need to warn everyone, I feel like I almost feel like I can't go and do what I want to do, even though there's no one stopping me. So yeah, that's always a funny thing. But I mean, I watched a deep dive the other day on YouTube as to why Pirates of the Caribbean is actually a really good movie. Some people don't remember it so fondly, partly because the sequels are so bad. But it was just this like, it explained like bit by bit why this is actually quite good if you think about it. And I watched it and I was like, yeah, I actually really liked that film when I was younger. And I think I want a Pirates of the Caribbean game, basically. Not actually tied in, I don't mean that, but just that kind of proper swashbuckling, not necessarily historically accurate. It's okay if it's got some kind of supernatural element, like Uncharted, but just an actual pirate.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get across. Like something like Uncharted, where it's a story that's... I know that people used to get really mad because every game was really linear, and then now every game is open world or every game is online, and now I kind of want to either go back to those days or for there to be a balance between the two.
Yeah.
And I think I miss that. That's what I want more than anything. I don't want to just be let loose in this open world every time. Some games, it works. Some games, it makes sense.
I'd miss open world games if they just vanished overnight.
No, absolutely. But I just want to be funneled a little bit more.
Yeah.
I want to be funneled through a really good story that makes you care about what's going on.
Because if the developers know that you're going to go roughly down this path, they're able to focus on that and do a really good job of it. Whereas if they're having to make a giant world, they have to kind of spread their resources and make sure, well, wherever you go, there's going to be something good to do.
Oh, boy.
But it might not be the best thing ever because we're having to make everything just good. No,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that was the big discussion for this week. Let us know what you think is underutilized in the world of video games. What would you like to see make a comeback? What would you like to see make its debut? Anything.
Yeah.
What do you think about weird news and what we've been talking about? Are you playing Borderlands?
Are you an X or a cross kind of guy or girl?
Exactly. All my crosses live in top. No, I can't say that, can I? That's rude. It's time to move on to the end of the show.
It is.
We're wrapping up now. Peter, where can people find us?
We are everywhere worth being. Team TripleJump. Our YouTube and Twitch channels are Team TripleJump. Our social medias, Twitter and Facebook, are Team TripleJump. We've got a Patreon where you can submit questions for this podcast. That's patreon.com/Team TripleJump. When I say we're everywhere at Team TripleJump, that's actually another lie.
Whoa!
Because the podcast itself, if you want to listen to the audio version, is available at play.acast.com/s/TripleJump. And our Discord, though, that's bit.ly/Team TripleJump, not discord.com/Team TripleJump.
No.
It doesn't work like that.
Doesn't work like that.
And the website is triplej.merp. That's ju.mp.
There's a new shirt, Peter.
Oh my god! Yeah, it's in the wash. I thought I should wear it today because we're recording this and we're streaming as well.
Yeah.
I was like, try and get it on as much as possible, but it's going to be washed tonight.
If you're watching the video version of this, you may have seen it roll at the beginning.
Yes.
So you sort of know what it looks like. It's a tiny Peter shirt.
It is. It's a little tiny Pocket Pete. I think on the website it says Pocket Peter, but I've been calling it Pocket Pete.
I've been calling it Pocket Pete as well.
Yeah.
We can get that changed.
We could do.
Just need to send a message to Adam.
Yeah.
Adam, you got it wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, it's warm in here again. I don't know why I put it back on. If you'd like to follow us on Twitter, you can do at @ThatPeterAustin and @confused_dude. Instagram @ThatPeterAustin and @BenPotter20. We do lists every Tuesday and Thursday. This week we had a massive list, another long one.
We did.
Every PlayStation franchise ranked from worst to best. Please go and watch it. Thank you to our wonderful writer Philip for putting in the research there to get that all put together.
Yeah, amazing work.
We do streams every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Monday and Tuesday being solo streams on Twitch, and Thursday being joint streams, Blaze It, on YouTube.
Absolutely.
Worst Games Ever is fortnightly. If you support us at a certain tier on Patreon, you get it on Friday, 2 days early. Everybody else gets it on Sunday. It's not a Worst Games Ever week, but it is a main menu week.
Oh,
I'm coming back out.
Yeah,
I'm coming back out. I'm not
too
feeling very well anyway, and that was not good in there.
Oh. Main menu.
Yeah.
Are we saying what we're doing?
It's already out.
It's gone out, hasn't it?
It's already gone out.
So we're doing Dark Souls Estus Soup, and oh boy, it was bad.
There's a line I feel like I need to challenge you on from that episode because
Oh, yeah.
I edited it, and I remember you. I didn't hear it at the time, but I heard it in the edit. You said, "I don't really like soup. I don't really think it knows what it wants to be."
Yeah.
I just think that's the weirdest hot take on soup I've ever heard.
That's not a weird take.
I don't know. I just
Is
thought
it
was,
food or is
funny.
it a drink?
Depends what kind you get. I mean, ours was, well, you have to wait and see. I suppose you just have to go and watch it because I would define it as a new state of being.
Yeah, a new state of matter.
There we go. That's
the
what I was
solid
looking
liquid
for.
gas, like Newtonian, non-Newtonian, and
Estus
soup that we made in my kitchen.
So please go and watch that, and leave us suggestions for what video game foods you'd like to see us recreate. The next one will, of course, probably be spooky Halloween related. So if you've got any spooky recipes or spooky suggestions from games, let us know.
Probably should have waited and done the Dark Souls one then, shouldn't we? But never mind.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
Dark Souls isn't a horror game unless you're a coward.
Oh,
got you. The podcast is every Saturday. Please leave us a review on iTunes or your platform of choice. It really helps. Something about algorithms. And I'd just like to extend a big thank you to Luke Eldon from the Elden Ring. He's from that. That's his ring.
Yeah.
He very kindly volunteered his services to help run our Facebook page, because those of you who like us on Facebook may have noticed that we don't go on there.
Nothing happens.
Because it's just too much of a time commitment for us at the moment. We post on Twitter, but we don't really have time to do stuff on Facebook.
Well, if we log in on Facebook, then our aunties start DMing us immediately. Oh, haven't you grown?
What kind of links would you like for your birthday? Africa?
Oh, Africa.
Do. And he's doing a phenomenal job over there, posting all sorts of stuff. So if you haven't liked the Facebook page yet, now is the time to.
Yeah.
And if you have liked it, we hope you're enjoying the increased content, and that is all
Memes.
courtesy of Luke. Yes, all the memes. I did not. What was it?
I did not create that meme. I did not upload that meme. I did not share that meme.
There we go. Peter, I don't know what you're going to do for this final sponsor, but go ahead.
We've got a new sponsor. This just in. We've replaced the previous sponsor.
Oh my goodness! So
fantastic news.
The Oddcast.
Yeah, Abe's Oddcast is gone. It's now been replaced. Oh. It's Munchies Oddcast.
Munchies.
Munchies.
What's Munchies?
It's the sequel to Oddworld.
He's got another one.
Yeah, there's another.
Isn't it?
It's a different. He's a different protagonist. It's in the series, but it's just a different guy. I guess he's got one as well.
Oh, okay.
Well, we'll have to replace that for next week.
Yeah, that's really embarrassing, isn't
Yeah.
it? Right, well, thank you very much for listening. We hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you again next week. Bye!
Bye!